Good morning and welcome to a day in my life. It is Thursday, January 6th, and it is much later than I normally get up. So I am bringing you along to try and figure out my new Thursday morning routines. And fortunately, I think I'm gonna figure it out this week, and then it's probably gonna change, maybe not next week, but in a couple of weeks when I'm no longer doing PT. So I am part of a dance company, and now that rehearsals have started back up, I have rehearsals on Wednesday from 8 to 10 p.m. That is way later than I normally stay up and way past my bedtime. I like to get up at 5:30, and that is when I have my alarm set on non-dance days. But sleep is an incredibly important thing to me, both for my health and wellness, for running a business, and just I like to sleep, and I don't want to sacrifice sleep and still get up at 5:30 regardless of what time I go to bed. And so I this week have been trying to figure out how to adjust my wake up time, my morning routine, to account for dance. Now, my earlier dance rehearsal is done at 9, so I only had to push things back by a half hour. It wasn't that big of a deal. And I felt like I figured that one out pretty easily. Again, normally I get up at 5:30 and my morning routine is 2.5 hours, 5:30 to 8. That includes lots of things: working out, showering, getting ready, reading, journaling, like prep, just all kinds of things. Lots of planning for the day. Like, I do lots of things in that 2.5 hours. So now it is 7, because that is the time that worked out with the time I went to bed last night. By the time I got home from dance, showered, got ready for bed, and got into bed and fell asleep. So I could just push the whole thing back, and in the future that's probably what I will end up doing. That is the beauty of working for yourself, is that I can make that shift and I can be in control of that. However, right now I am doing PT twice a week for my foot injury, and so I have PT at 8:30. So I'm not gonna get all of my morning routine in before I go to PT. That's just how it's gonna be. Now, instead of setting up something totally different in my Routinery app, which is the app I use to track my routines, I did a whole separate video about that if you want to check it out, about the app and how I set up my routines and all those things. So what I'm gonna do is just click my routine app and click start like I normally would. Obviously the end time, which is one of the things I love about the app, is it tells you what time you're gonna be done, is gonna be way different than normally. I'm shooting for it to say 8 o'clock. I'm gonna be done at 8 o'clock. That's not gonna happen today. But I'm just gonna go through my routine as I normally would. I'm not gonna like immediately skip anything quite yet. And then I'll pause it when I go to PT, and then when I come back, I'll just pick it back up and keep going. That's what I'm gonna try. Although I just said all of that out loud, and I just remembered that I'm not gonna come straight home from PT. I'm gonna go to the grocery store in between. So there's gonna be pieces of my morning routine that happen, like, I don't know, it's gonna be way later in the day. At some point, hopefully before I leave for PT, I'm gonna get to the part of my morning routine where I plan out my day, and then we'll kind of figure all this out. Before we get to planning out the day, there is a new step in my morning routine I wanted to tell you about, and I wanted to say thank you to the member of our Patreon community who told me about this, because that is honestly like one of the unexpected things that came out of the Patreon community that I'm so thankful for, is that pretty much every month on our monthly live Q&A call, I get something out of it. Somebody asks a question or brings up a topic, and somebody in the community has an answer or solution that happens to also work for me. And so a few months ago, it was about Peloton and talking about how to schedule out your classes for the week, because I know that if I schedule out my classes in advance, I'm way more successful not having to make that decision every single day. But unfortunately, the Peloton scheduler has some kinks to it. Either you have to schedule it for a specific time, and then if you're not there at that specific time, it doesn't pop up on my bike, which is frustrating. Or you can set it into a stack, but you can only do up to 10. And I typically take more than 10 classes in a week because I'm taking small classes, like short 10-minute classes. And so I can't do the whole week in advance. So at one point I was trying like 2 phases of the week, and that still wasn't really working. And what her solution was, is that she was like, it's part of my morning routine to set up the stack just for that day. So simple, so brilliant. And so now it's part of my morning routine. Although my app is telling me that I've gone over time because I picked up the camera to talk to you, but it's part of my morning routine to put in my workout stack. And the way that I do pick my classes still further in advance, so that I'm not, what she does is not quite what I do. So what she does is she actually puts them in her Google Cal like on Sunday. So she plans out the whole week for workouts on Sunday and puts them in her Google Cal, and then in the morning moves them to her stack. I actually just went ahead and kind of planned out the whole month, and then I'm doing them individually in the morning. And so I use this calendar called Hardcore on the Floor. I've talked about this before. I have to keep it covered up per the rules of the Facebook group. You're not allowed to share a calendar publicly. But if you do use the Peloton app, I highly recommend this Facebook group. And she has a plan, classes for every day of the month. I don't follow it exactly because of my personal fitness goals and dance. I have rearranged. You can see, like, instead of this being Wednesdays, these were the things I do on Saturdays. I moved Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday around, and then I added some things in. Thursday is kind of actually gonna be one of my like active recovery days. So on the calendar, there's a 10-minute yoga class, so I'm gonna do that, and then I'm gonna do a full body stretch. So I'm gonna look at the yoga class that's on the calendar and add it into my Peloton app, and then once I get to the part of my morning routine where I actually execute on the workout, which at this point might be like 11 a.m., then I won't have to think about it or set it up. I will go to my bike and click my stack and start the class. Okay, now it is time to plan out my day. So this is my Amplify Undated Planner, Thursday 1/6. So let's start in the hourly section. I started my AM routine at 7, and then I'm definitely not gonna get to the part of my routine. Normally I write workout on my planner. I'm not gonna get to the part of my routine where I work out. Like I said, today is a stretch, but so I'm gonna go ahead and put PT on there from 8:30 to 9:30. And then like I mentioned before, I'm actually gonna go to the grocery store after PT. I had a call scheduled for this afternoon that she had to reschedule to tomorrow afternoon, and that's when I'm trying to normally go to the grocery store, is Friday afternoons. And so I just decided to go ahead and switch those two things around and move my grocery store up to today. And the grocery store that we go to is on my way back from PT. Like I walk right by it. So it kind of just makes sense to go there, like go then. So I'm gonna go to Trader Joe's. I also need to run to the drugstore for a quick second and grab one thing that they don't carry at Trader Joe's. So I'm gonna put that until 10:30. We'll see if that's actually when I get home. You never know. And then I'm just gonna actually write stretch. I could write workout, but really what I'm focusing on Thursdays is getting stretching. After 3 days of working out and 2 days of dance, I'm like, my body, it needs a good stretch. And then I'm gonna leave the rest of this blank because I don't know how long all that is really gonna take me. I don't know what else my morning routine is gonna look like. Like I just don't know. And then I also wanna like shower and get ready because I do have a one-on-one call at noon. So that's my priority, is to be done with all of this and ready to go for my call at noon. And then I have a call at 1:30. And I have a couple things I want to get done this afternoon. I want to get this online course I actually signed up for all set up. I need to do some things for merch. I actually put that, I think, in my planner in the last daily, like in the last day in the life, and I didn't do it then. And I'm still carrying it over. That's, I don't know, one thing I just keep not working on. And then I need to do some more project planning. It was on my schedule for yesterday and I did it a little bit, but then I also got sidetracked and did a bunch of wedding stuff instead of spending all my time on that. So I want to get done with that today, and then I'll do my communication routine. And then that's it. So yes, in an ideal world, I would be like done with work at 5, but if you've ever seen any kind of meme about owning your own business, that's never the case. So if some of this stuff bleeds into the evening, that's totally fine. I'll make dinner. I might come back to it. We'll see. Especially because I'm spending the entire morning like on my personal stuff. I'm not really starting work today until noon. And I am tracking all of my work hours on my Timular, and I've been loving it. I talked about that on the last day in the life, but I don't have anything else planned for the evening. I'm gonna go ahead and write PM routine. I do like to check things off on my daily planner. Like I just cross through it when I get to it, but I don't actually ever end up crossing off my PM routine. I like don't even check in with my planner at that point. And then in terms of to-dos, there's really only one thing I can think of that I need to get to today. I had a one-on-one client and like her last session was yesterday, so I'm gonna send her the feedback form. Otherwise, that's it for now. I'm sure, again, things will pop up, and today is also kind of about, again, getting that groove of being up later than I normally am last night and starting my AM routine much later. Also, if you like this section of the day in the life where I show my planner, I will now that I'm done with this, the next step in my morning routine is gonna be to take a picture of this and go post it in the Patreon Facebook group. I do that every single day that I use my planner. I post a picture of it in the Facebook group, my weekly planning pad, my daily planner, all the things. So if you are interested in seeing this on a more like regular and more timely basis, right? This video is going live way later than I actually am filming it. Come join our Patreon community and the Facebook group. Of course, the timing wasn't gonna work out perfectly. Like there was gonna be a cut in the routine that didn't work. So I have reached the point in my app where it tells me it's time to work out. I keep pretending you can see that even though it's on super bright. Okay, it's time to work out. And I usually have 40 minutes allotted because I usually do 30 minutes of classes and I leave 40 minutes so that I can get dressed, and then also the little transition time between the classes because I usually do 3 10-minute classes. And I have about 20 minutes until I need to leave for PT. So it's not enough time to do the entire workout / stretch that I planned for today. But it's also like, it's enough time that I feel like I could just like pick up a book and read. Maybe that's what I'll do. Maybe I'll like get dressed and get all ready to go for PT, and then I'm gonna read. I was thinking actually when I picked up the camera that I was gonna go ahead and split my workout and do like the yoga one before PT and then wait and do the stretch piece when I got home. But no, I think I'm gonna read instead. And that is a piece of my morning routine. It's at the end of my morning routine. I actually just talked about this in a live, and I don't know the last time I mentioned it in a vlog. But one of the things that I have in my morning routine is the last step is what I would call like, it's adjustable. Like I could do it for 0 time or I could do it for more time than I've got in the app. Because some of the earlier steps, it depends. Like it could take me more time, it could take me less time. I've gotten pretty good at estimating, and so I'm not usually that far off. But things happen, and most days, even if I'm off, like if I'm off by a minute on 5 different steps, then I have 5 extra minutes or 5 less minutes at the end of the routine. So my last step in my morning routine is reading. And it has a set time in my app to get me to that 8 o'clock time in the day. But if I have more time, I'll read for more. And if I have less time, I will read for less. So I think that's what I'll do. I'll just move reading up. Now I'm not gonna mess with the app at all because again, PT hopefully will be over relatively soon. And when that happens, I will probably just cruise through my morning routine starting it at 7 instead of 5:30 and be done at 9:30 instead of 8. And that will just be my Thursdays. But right now I have to, shift things around for PT. So that's what I'm gonna do. Plus my coffee's not done anyways. I'm out of half and half, hence why we're going to the grocery store today. And so I've been using this creamer that I bought for my mom and sister when they were in town. And I don't really like it. It's not bad. It's just like way, way, way too sweet for my like first coffee in the morning. And so I probably just should have added less. I have not figured out the right ratio, but it's been 2 days and I'm just ready for my plain half and half again. So this is the nonfiction book I'm reading right now. It was gifted to me, but I am loving it so far. It is talking all about how, good morning. Oh, okay. I would like to sit here, Mom. Thanks. It's all about, I'm not just a couple chapters into it, but just talking about how we benefit. First off, as humans, we need community and we need connection and we need like people in our lives, and we can't go at it alone. And then also that there are benefits to us supporting each other and fostering community over competition. And I'm loving it so far. So I'm gonna sit here with this sweet girl. Good morning. And get some reading in. Okay, I just got home. It's about 10:15. I'm gonna quickly show you what I got from Trader Joe's, my grocery haul, and then I had on my planner to start my like stretch at 10:30, so we're pretty good on time. Also, I think it's kind of funny that I spent this whole, not this whole vlog, but like one of the reasons I chose today to do the day in the life is because I knew I was gonna have to be figuring out an adjustment of my morning routine. Well, first off, my PT said next week she needed to do 7:30 instead of 8:30. So like what I did today is not what I'm gonna do next Thursday. And then I'm out of town and she goes, when you get back from being out of town, I think we can cut it just to 1 day a week. And I'm definitely gonna pick Tuesdays so that Thursday I can just sleep in after dance. So like this whole thing is just literally gonna be today. But I'm still learning a lot, and it's nice to like get a feel for it and see what I can adjust. And then it's also nice to bring you along and share with you how I would adjust it. And next week it's just gonna look different, right? I'm gonna get up at 7 and go straight to PT at 7:30. I'm not really gonna do any of my morning routine before PT next week. I'll do it all when I get home. And then hopefully when I get back from being out of town, if I just do 1 day a week, it'll be Tuesdays, then Thursdays will be the same flow of my morning routine, just pushed back. Okay, so here's what I picked up from Trader Joe's. We are here for another week before we both leave, so I kind of kept that in mind. We are also staying in this weekend. We're not going out anywhere, and so I am cooking a lot at home, so I kept that in mind as well. So stocked up on a couple of spices that we were out of, grabbed a bunch of cards. We have a lot of friends expecting right now, a lot of announcements, so I grabbed some expecting cards. This one I thought was really, really funny, and then this one is cute. I got 2 of each. Eggs for breakfast. This is one meal. This is actually a crock-pot meal I used to make a long time ago. I will leave the recipe link down below, but it's turkey and cheese. It does not have spinach. I add that in myself, but it's like different kinds of cheese, pasta sauce, and spaghetti. Super delicious. And then I've talked about this before, but I buy the big thing of chicken from Trader Joe's. So this is 2 pounds, and I'm gonna split into 2 recipes. One, here we got mushrooms and a shallot and some other stuff. And then actually, I think the lemon might go with this one too. I don't remember which of these. All these ingredients here go with the chicken recipes. I don't know which ones are which. Then we've got tacos. I pretty much always do tacos, and then pork and broccoli. And then I have some potatoes left over from last week that I'm going to use. I'm going to do baked potatoes, pork chops, and broccoli. Granola and yogurt, which is a go-to snack for me. Coffee, bananas. Another snack that I really like that I grabbed this week is cottage cheese. And I actually normally like to grab pears, but my Trader Joe's was out of pears. So I got the peach halves. Yes, in an ideal world, I'm getting fresh pears or peaches and cutting those up, but sometimes it's convenience over like the healthiest option, right? If I buy fresh pears or peaches, then I also need to cut them up, and like I know myself, and that's probably way less likely to happen. So when I buy the jarred ones, yeah, it is not quite as good for me, but I'm way more likely to have it, and that's a good snack. And then another snack that I love is celery with the buffalo chicken dip. This I'm gonna cut like right away. It's not even gonna get in the fridge without getting cut. Otherwise, same scenario. I just like won't do it, but I can't buy pre-cut just cucumber. You can get like the mixed veggies, but I like the baby cucumber. So I'm gonna cut these before they even get in the fridge. Put that, oh, and chocolate, because I love chocolate and I like to have a little piece of chocolate at the end of my meal. So that is our Trader Joe's haul. All right, I did my yoga and stretching. It felt so good. Like that was exactly what my body needed. You know, I'm still trying to get a feel for how this workout program feels with dance. And I also know that this week's dance was a little bit different because it was the first week, and we always tend to talk a little bit more the first week of rehearsals. But at the same time, I also know that every week I'm getting stronger with my ankle and foot. My foot is where the fracture was, but my ankle was also sprained, and then also my overall like ankle, calf, foot was messed up from being in the boot. So I'm working all of that. Anyways, I know that that is not at 100% yet. So I'm still trying to get a feel for all of that. So getting ready for the day. And while I like started to kind of pull up my stuff, by the way, I showed all of the products that I use in my last day in life, like all of my skincare, both in the morning and then at night. But I was realizing or thinking about the fact that when I don't do this process, my like moisturizer and my, more importantly, my sunscreen, before I leave for PT or anything, I'm going outside like without sunscreen on, which defeats the whole purpose of putting on sunscreen every day, I feel like. So I am thinking that I might need to move this, at least the sunscreen step, up to like the very beginning of my morning routine, because sometimes, I mean, it's like 11:30 right now. Like sometimes it is that long. Okay, it's not really that late, but sometimes it is later. Sometimes I've already gone outside before. That's what I'm trying to say. Sometimes I've already gone outside before I do this part of my daily routine. So that kind of defeats the whole purpose. I mean, not that it's not protecting me now if I leave, but I'm not planning to go anywhere the rest of today. Although I have heard that, I mean, the sun does come in through the windows, but anyways, just something that I was thinking about and something that I might switch up. So I decided I actually am not gonna put any makeup on today. Some days I do and some days I don't. But one thing that I have been doing every day, regardless of how comfy my outfit is, regardless of whether or not I put on makeup, I've been wearing perfume every day. It just makes me happy, and I just like the way that it smells, and it just like, I don't know. I don't really have a good reason other than like I just enjoy it and it makes me happy, and I don't want to sit there and like just save it for special occasions when I leave the house, because that's not every day anymore. Both because of everything going on and staying safe, but also because of my life now, working from home full time forever. Well, I guess not forever, never say never, but like for now, it's like I'm gonna put it on. I'm gonna put the perfume on every day. Okay, so I finished up this one-on-one call and did this feedback email, and then I ate some lunch, and then I had a little bit of time before my 1:30 call, but I didn't really feel like doing anything work-related or like getting started on any of my afternoon things. So Sam and I actually got together and we booked our honeymoon flights. So I get to shade off this section of my monthly power sheets. This is really hard to do while also holding the camera. And we also, while we were at it and just like in the flight booking mode, that's like a mess. We also booked 2 other flights for weddings that we have later in the year as well. So we just booked 3 flights. It feels really good like to be on top of that. Okay, I just finished my second/last one-on-one call for today. I only had those 2. And I don't really feel like doing any other things on my list today. And I don't know if it is I am tired. I got all the sleep I normally get last night, just shifted back a little bit. Tired also because it's later in the week, not necessarily like tired from today, or if I just really don't feel like doing any of these things. So I think what I'm gonna do first is I'm gonna bump my communication routine up to earlier. I'm gonna do it now, is what I'm trying to tell you. And then like I did earlier with where I just like went and worked on some of my personal goals, I might do that. And I had time scheduled this weekend to work on my personal goals, and I might just maybe move some work stuff to Saturday and do some more personal goals today. We'll see. I'm gonna start with my communication routine and see how I feel. So one of the questions I get a lot when I bring up the Patreon options and the Patreon tiers is, do I really give out my phone number for the Patreon tier 3 where you get to text with me? No, the answer is no. I'm not giving you my actual phone number. I use this really cool system called Community. It is a platform where I get a phone number, and then on the end of the user, so the members of the Patreon community at this level, it looks like a text message to them. It looks like I am a contact in their phones, and it is a text message to them. On my end, it is both an app on my phone as well as on my computer, which is where I like to utilize it. I'm able to pull up the website on my computer and respond to text messages that way. It's always the first thing I do. That's part of my communication routine, is respond to text. And I just wanted to clarify that because it is a question that I get very regularly. So it does look like a text to you as the user. If you are interested in joining Patreon and texting with me, not only do I respond obviously to all questions, additional accountability that you need, help you break down a goal, work through an issue, but I also send out a daily text that gives you some sort of inspiration, motivation, question to answer, something goal related. Okay, finished my communication routine. I also added this after I filmed the plan with me, but have since decided that I'm actually gonna cross it off totally. So I do wanna start being better about using my cookbooks, but I realized that that's not where Plan to Eat shines. Somebody commented this on a YouTube video, that Plan to Eat's like best feature is being able to import from the internet. So I think for now, as I'm getting a groove, I'm not gonna worry about my cookbooks. I'm just gonna worry about importing recipes from online, or if I have recipes in my head, which at this point I've entered most of them into Plan to Eat, like the recipes that we just make ourselves. So I'm actually gonna just like cross this off. I'm just gonna like draw a line through it here. And it's not even a goal I'm gonna work on. By the way, another step that I have in my communication routine is just putting on my blue light glasses. Like at this point in the day, I wanna start blocking my eyes from the blue light. These are just from cheap from Amazon. It was like a 2-pack that I got, and I just wear them every day from this point until I go to bed. So I think what I'm gonna do, partially my office is freezing. I realized the other day the heater wasn't on, and I just finally turned it on, but I think it hasn't done enough of a job. Like it hasn't, I don't know. I thought when I woke up this morning it would be warm in here, and it's just not. So I am cold, and some of these things on my list, I really don't feel like doing today. And that's the benefit of working for myself, is that I don't have to do them. I mean, there are things sometimes like I have to do, like if there's a call scheduled, I'm not gonna bail on somebody, but the things I have on my list today are not like nobody else is counting on me to get to them today. So I think what I'm gonna do is relocate to the living room, and I'm gonna sit on the couch with a blanket. I'm gonna light a candle in there, and I'm gonna work on the project planning, which was one of the things on my list for this afternoon, but I'm gonna do it on my lap desk thing in the living room instead of in here. The other thing I'm gonna do is have a snack because I'm hungry, and I am so thankful that I cut those cucumbers up earlier, like right after I unpacked the groceries, because that's what I'm gonna have is cucumbers and a buffalo chicken dip. Okay, so this is my golden coil that I use for work. For work, that sounds so funny to say, because like, I know what I mean when I say that, like it's my Plan with Laken planner, but I've never really like said it like that before, that it's worked. Anyways, if you watch my planner lineup video, I flipped through this whole thing like empty, and I've since set some time setting it up. I did post some pictures like right when I did it on New Year's Eve or New Year's Day in the Patreon Facebook group, but I just did some more project planning on like the project planning pages. Now, there's a lot of stuff on these pages that I'm not ready to share yet, like projects and things that I'm working on for Plan with Laken that are still very much in the work. So I'm going to show you some of the pages, and then I'm also going to pop up pictures for some of the pages that have some things blurred out, so you can kind of get a feel for it without seeing everything. Okay, so I started by just writing the year on the inside. And then the page right behind this is my year at a glance page. And what I have done is mapped out all the major projects that I'm working on over the course of the year. Q1 is pretty much nailed down. Q2 has most of the things nailed down. And then for Q3 and 4, most of it for now is still on sticky notes. I'm pretty sure I know what I want to be working on Q3 and 4, but I'm not really sure. I debated going ahead and just like writing it on Q3 and Q4 pages and then crossing things off if I need to, but I decided to go ahead and go with sticky notes. Then this year at a glance page has all of the days of the year for the whole year. And so what I did was I drew a line in between Sunday and Monday so I could easily differentiate like the weeks. And then I'm tracking how many hours I'm working. So using my Timular to track my hours for the day and tracking how many hours I'm working. I added it to my power sheet. So I'm excited to kind of see like what that looks like over the course of the year. Okay, then the first page that I have a bookmark in is the monthly page. So there is an undated monthly for the entire year. I thought I was going to go ahead and date the entire year now, like when I set it up, and I decided I'm just going to take it 1 month at a time, just in case I do want to change anything up about the setup. So I just added the name of the month and then Monday through Saturday and dated the whole thing. And then the calendar just has like when I am not going to be working. It's basically when outside things are affected by work or vice versa. So the Patreon things that are always on the evenings and the weekends, it's like not during regular work hours. I have those in here, and then I have when I'm going to be out of town. And then on the side, I have a space for weekly priorities, and it's basically taking what was on the prior page of this and breaking it down into each week, what I'm going to be working on during the work week that week. Then my next page that has a page marker is my to-do list page. So again, for every month I have one of these layouts. It doesn't say the month at the top. I added the month. And for now, the categories I've included are my 2 plan with Laken goals, revenue systems, and then admin and other. And then I'm kind of just adding things as I think of it. But not everything ends up here. Sometimes it just ends up directly onto my daily to-do list and I don't put it here first. So I'm not quite sure if these pages are really working for me or if I'm just kind of duplicating effort. And then I have a section down here for next month. And then, like I mentioned in the flip through, I have 36 dot grid pages because I didn't want to have more than 3 projects a month for the whole year. And I don't even know if it'll end up being that because some projects will overlap multiple months. But this is where I'm actually breaking down the steps. So here's an example. One of my goals for this quarter, which I talked about in my quarterly goals video, is to update the sales pages. And this is like the breakdown of how I'm going to update those sales pages. So I have a page like this for every project. I did not do the entire year yet. I haven't gotten through the whole year. I've only gotten through like basically the first half of the year, just because, like I said, things might change. And then after all the project pages, I have like a billion notes pages. And I'm really not sure how I'm gonna, well, that's more from dot grid. I'm not really sure how I'm gonna use these pages, if I'm being honest with you. I thought maybe I would like take notes for things that I'm like learning. I don't know yet. So I'm definitely sticking with this planner through the end of the year. I really like everything I've done and set up and broken down so far. It's just really figuring out, like, I know we're 6 days into the new year, so I don't mean for this to sound ridiculous, but it's figuring out what works for me in terms of a planner for business and possibly doing something different in the future if it works better. Like, what pages am I using, pages am I not using? Is there anything I'm missing? So on and so forth. So that is my business planner setup. Why is the hardest thing about cooking dinner making sure that everything finishes at the same time? So I started dinner. I knew I wanted to make these baked potatoes because I had leftover potatoes from last week. So I put those in the oven first because I knew they would take the longest. Then after about 10 minutes of having the potatoes in the oven, I added the broccoli in the oven. And then I set a timer for 20 minutes. Well, I just checked on both of them and the broccoli is almost done and the potatoes are not even close to being done. So the broccoli is gonna be done way before the potatoes are. And so now I'm debating, like, I'm making the pork chops and I just literally Googled like pork chop recipe and found this recipe online that I've never made. And like, it says it's 3 minutes per side and these are pretty thin pork chops, so it shouldn't take that long. But I'm like, do we want to eat the pork chops with the broccoli? So should I make them now or do we want to eat them with the big potato and we'll just like eat the broccoli when it's out? And so I'll wait on the pork chops until the potatoes are closer to being done. I don't know if this is like one of the reasons why I really don't like cooking, and I especially don't like cooking like separate ingredients like this. And I prefer like one pot meals, crock pot, etc. Okay, dinner was delicious, although we ate it at 3 different increments because the broccoli was done, so we ate the broccoli, and then I thought the potatoes were almost done, so I put the pork chops on, and the pork chops finished, And then I checked a potato and they actually weren't really that close to done. So I ate the pork chops and then the potatoes finished and I ate the potatoes. Just like, whatever. It was all delicious, just like not all at one time. So something I will need to work on if I want to make that kind of combination of meals again. But now I'm going to get in the bath. I've been freezing all day and thinking about getting into a hot bath, and that I'm just very, very excited. I also got some new bath bombs for Christmas. They're CBD infused, and I'm just so excited to try these out and just get in the bath, relax for a little bit, and call it an evening. I have nothing else planned for the evening, so I'll probably will take an extra long bath and then just either read or continue to watch Gilmore Girls after my bath is over. So I'm gonna go ahead and close out this vlog here. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, please click that subscribe button. I upload new videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday focused on helping you achieve your goals. Thank you so much for watching. 30, my evening. I need more of this. No, Laken, I'm saying it wrong. It's not filming, I just thought it was filming. Why can't I talk this morning?